Let me know what y'all think of that new beat. Welcome to the show. This is Leaders Lead, the podcast where we talk to influential people throughout cyberspace, throughout the neighborhood, just people that I'm like, man, I am truly inspired by that person. Today, it's no exception. We have Raquel Borras. Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Yeah. It looked like before we even started, let me look at the comment section. I didn't see anyone.
I don't. Yeah. Oh, we're here. Rob.
We got.
Rob's like, can you remind me when you're going live? And I'm like, I'm about to go on, and then we weren't on. I just have private chat on my thing, so I don't know if I can see like comments. It's all good.
Maybe I accidentally disabled
it. It's okay. I sound super high maintenance right now.
No. I can go in and fix some stuff, but I don't want to screw it up. Anyway,
no, it's all good.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you for doing this.
No, I appreciate you for asking me. Like, it's funny because I tell people all the time, like, perception is reality, right? So if you like, there's someone online that like you feel like they're like bigger than life, like you're one of those people where I saw you have Reggie or Reggie had you, or Reggie Waterman, who's like my boo bear, and just like your persona. So when you reached out to me and asked me to be on, I was like, of course.
Stop it. You're making me blush. My head's going.
No, as it should. Blow it up.
No. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I've seen you. We have a few mutual friends. You're friends with Rachel Beck.
Yes. Yeah. So I've spoken with her. Then we were on a panel together for an event, and we'll, engage in each other's content and everything. Yeah. So
yeah. I saw y'all. I think you had her on the TV screen. You had on your fancy, I think it was like a pantsuit, looking all classy and stuff.
We did an event. It was kind of cool because I was like the only person in person at the event, and then they were virtual, so it was like hybrid, but it was like really cool the way it worked. And then Michael Ray, my good friend, he was just out in Colorado doing something with her, and so he got to finally meet her in person as well. So it was really cool.
I've had him on this show too.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I had him
from another mother.
He's dope. I love his and it's funny, whenever I scroll, I would see his face. He'd be like, But
we FaceTime almost every single day. If we don't FaceTime, he sends me a little video. And I've become friends with his girlfriend, his kids. So it's like we really are like family. So even his girlfriend will like FaceTime me, and then his if something like is going on with their kids, they'll message me to let me know. It's really
that cool. Is super dope. Yeah. I love that. And so, did y'all meet on LinkedIn?
We did, but we actually met in person in California. Yeah. He was out there for random acts of kindness, and we met in LA, and then he stayed in San Diego, met my mom. I did a couple random acts with him. We spent as much time together as we possibly could, just knowing that, we don't get to see each other often. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Did he teach you how to say the place where he's from?
Oh, yeah. He and his girlfriend for Christmas last year sent me 2 T-shirts. One was Louisville. It's pronounced like marbles in your mouth. They're like Louisville.
Yeah, that's how they do it. They go Louisville.
Louisville. And then the other T-shirt said, let's drink wine and judge people, because he knows I like wine. And then he sent me socks that said someone in Louisville loves me.
People are always sending you stuff. I saw that somebody sent you some coffee the other day too.
Yesterday. Yeah. So it was kind of weird because I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And it was an old neighbor of mine that we lived next door to each other years ago when our kids were little. And then he reached out to me because he saw my post on LinkedIn, and he literally sent me 8 boxes of coffee with 24 K-cups in each box. So I'm set for life.
Are you serious? What the hell are you going to do with all that freaking coffee?
be super hyper all the time already. Like, and the funny thing is I can be this hyper without coffee. So just imagine like me on coffee.
I love it. Oh, it looks like we got some thumbs up from
Oh yeah.
Facebook. I
Once
fixed
again, I have
it.
no freaking clue what's happening.
If y'all watching on Facebook, leave a comment just so that I can make sure that the comments are coming in through Facebook. I'm just fishing for comments. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Let's see what we got. Greetings from Pennsylvania. How you doing, Tim?
Coffee. He knows all about coffee. He loves coffee.
The coffee lady.
Team coffee.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. Oh, and Alex. Oh my gosh. Like, so I actually know these people.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We like travel in the same circles.
I tell people all the time, like, even though LinkedIn has millions and millions of users, like it can be very cliquish, right? Have you noticed there's like clicks within LinkedIn where it makes it feel really small, like a tight community, but like that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I love LinkedIn. So here's some more comments. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah. How long have you been on LinkedIn?
Like 8 years now.
Yeah. I was one of those people that it would say so and so is on LinkedIn. You should say hi to him. And I'm like, I don't want to get on that. But I ended up getting on LinkedIn when I needed to find a freaking job. But I got on and it was, I got on LinkedIn. I would say
it's changed. It's definitely evolved, right? Like
yeah.
Different. Yeah.
Have you been able to get a bunch of jobs from being on LinkedIn?
So my latest job. So I just started a job a month ago, and it's all because of LinkedIn. So I was in the mortgage industry before I went out on my own 2 years ago, right before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you this. About a month ago, I woke up and had a panic attack, and I was like, you know what? I have to find a job. Like, as much as I'm doing Rock the Boat and Rock Vision and, all of this, like the reality is I need a paycheck, a consistent paycheck, health benefits. I have to get surgery next year, next year, but next month I have to get surgery. So like, the reality of that sets in. And because of LinkedIn, I didn't even have to search for a job. Like the universe had my back. I had someone reach out to me in the mortgage industry and said, hey, we've seen what you've been doing. We feel like you'd be perfect fit for this position. And that's how it happened. Like within 2 weeks, I had a job and everything.
That's dope. So did you manifest that?
I think so. I had a girlfriend when I told her that, she's like, you manifested it. I'm like, maybe I did, because I'm doing what I absolutely love, which is the branding, social media marketing piece of it. I'm doing for a mortgage company out here in the Mid-Atlantic region. And it also gave me a sense of confidence. And because being out on my own for a good 2 years, like you do discover a lot about yourself as an entrepreneur and being your own boss. Like you really do. And then you understand like the value that you bring. So when they reached out to me, I was like, I don't want to go back into the mortgage industry. So I came kind of in, like when I was talking to my now boss, I was like, well, if I'm going to go back in, this is what I want to do. This is what I want. And at the end of the conversation, they're like, okay.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have, you probably wouldn't have, you probably wouldn't have been able to do that before, right? Or like wouldn't have had the confidence to say, okay, these are my hostage negotiation demands, right?
Yeah, like, I know. I truly believe that. Like, I wouldn't have come at it in that respect. Like, I would have been, I don't know, just kind of like, I'll take what I can get. Now I felt like, no, I've learned a lot about what I actually bring, and like I'm worthy of it, and I'm like should be able to be paid for what I bring.
I agree.
My kids would make fun of me all the time. Like, Mom, stop giving stuff for free. Stop being so nice. Stop doing all this stuff. And I said, listen, when it comes down to it, a lot has to do with my insecurities. If you think about it, like it's not so much like me just, I don't know how to explain it, but I think it was more of like my insecurity of not being able to ask people like, this is what you should pay me for. Like,
yeah,
giving.
Was that before you went into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, entrepreneurship, I will have to say, was really hard for me.
Yeah.
It really was. And the reason why I say that is because, once again, like, you have to be able to sell yourself. You have to be able to, do all of those kind of marketing things, of the email thing, and or the click funnels, the web funnels, all of these things. And that's just not me. So I think it was really difficult for me to kind of tell people, like, hey, this is what I do. Pay me for it.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because I struggle with that quite a bit, in saying, hey, this is what I do and this is how much I charge. If it was up to me, I would do a bunch of stuff for free. I get in trouble so much with my
Yeah.
wife for the things that I did some stuff for free today.
I know. It's like, I think there's like people like us that we just are very giving by nature. And for us, like, that's just like our love language, if you will. Like, we just want to be able to give and help others. Like, I really love to help. But so then you like lose sight of the fact that you still have to be able to support yourself and pay your bills. And for whatever reason, like, asking for money for me equates to like greediness, selfishness. Once again, it's like, whatever my upbringing, it's something that I have to kind of work on. I'm like changing the way I view money and success, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to be successful or make money if I have that mindset.
Yeah. I think about trick or treating. We almost got to be like kids. It's on the porch for us, right? As far as
Yeah.
like the candy and stuff, we just got to go up there to the door and freaking take it, right?
Yeah. And I will have to say, though, like, doing what I do for Rock the Boat, and like working with kids, like, that for me is easy, just because I know at the end of the day it helps them.
Yeah.
So then that's how I kind of have to view a lot of it, is like, hey, at the end of the day, I'm trying to make it an impact, an impact that's outside of myself and who I am. So then it kind of justifies me doing what I do sometimes, because I have to admit, sometimes I'm like super over myself in this,
Yeah.
like, where you're posting about yourself, or I
Yeah.
don't, yeah, there are times where I'm like, I'm so sick of it.
I think we're like twins. Today I posted a picture of you today. And usually what I'll do is I'll put myself side by side with the person when I'm advertising for the show. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm so freaking done with just seeing myself all over,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
over
Right.
my social media. I don't know. It's weird, right?
But people don't like, they don't see that, like, on the other end, like, they don't understand that a lot of us really like do it because we understand, like, we kind of have to in
Hmm.
order to promote what we're doing. But there's so many of us that, like, it's a little bit awkward, and it's kind of weird at times. Like, believe me, I have my moments where I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Are you an introvert or extrovert?
So this is what's funny, is that I am, everyone's like, "Oh, you're such an extrovert," but I'm realizing that I'm more of an introvert.
Yeah, me too.
Marisol, I love her. Yeah, I'm more of an introvert in the sense that I have to have my alone time and my downtime. I really do. Like, before, I think I didn't appreciate it. And I think a lot of us, we want to be busy all the time because we don't want to sit alone, because that means we're like in our own thoughts. And when we're in our own thoughts, like, things come up and no one wants to deal with like their feelings and then all of
Uh-huh.
those things, right? But
Yeah,
I find that when I'm in like alone and quiet, that's like when the best stuff happens, because I'm really listening to my inner voice,
I
and
agree.
I'm really understanding like what my needs are and my wants. I'm in the same one, silly. Yeah, I know. And I know there's so many of us that are so alike. Um, but yeah, so when I'm alone, that's like when the magic happens, if you will.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I could literally go to a hotel and stay there for the whole week and just order room service, and I would be totally,
Okay, I don't know
totally
if I'm
fine.
that bad.
I could
Okay, that's a little,
totally.
a week in a hotel by yourself with room service. Yeah, no, I'd have to go down to the hotel bar.
No, I'm saying okay, I would do that, but I'm saying inside the building. My wife thinks
Okay,
that I
okay.
love attention. I do, and that's the crazy part. I It's almost like a switch comes on and a switch
Yeah.
goes off. I don't want to be forgotten. but
Yes, like we want to still be relevant, right? But at the
yep.
same time, like it's funny. I had an energy healer. So I had an energy healer session over the phone. It was during COVID. And he made this comment where I was like, oh my God, he's so right. He's like, listen, he's like, you are accustomed to the attention, but at the end of the day, that's not like deep down, you don't want the attention. Like that's just what you're used to. So like you put yourself out there, you get it, but that's truly not what you want. I'm like, it's so true. Like people think I want the attention because I'm
Yeah.
out there, but really like, I think that's just something that I've always like done throughout my life. So once again, like we get kind of used to certain habits
Yeah,
and it's
that's super
breaking those
weird.
habits and breaking those stereotypes and breaking the narrative around certain things. And so that's where, like, even with the whole extrovert introvert, everyone's always said, oh my God, you're such a social butterfly. Oh my gosh, you're such an extrovert. And I'm realizing, like, I'm not so much. And I have to kind of like be okay with telling people vocally, like, hey, I'm really not what you think I am.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like on my weekends, on Fridays and Saturdays, I don't go out. Like, I really don't have a social life. I just watched the entire series of Game of Thrones, all 8 seasons, in
I've
less than
never
a month.
seen that. In less than a month?
In less than a month, because every weekend I didn't have any plans. I didn't have a social life. So what did I do? I watched Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
That's dope.
you know, even between football games, Game of Thrones. And I'm about to rewatch it, by the way.
What other shows do you watch?
I watch everything. I'm watching Succession right now as well.
I never seen that one.
That's good. That's on HBO. Everyone's talking about Yellowstone.
Never seen that one.
And yeah, my friend just was a cameraman on there. And so I'm like, maybe I should watch it. That's with Kevin Costner. It's Clint Eastwood. It's like, you know, a whole like kind of cowboy theme.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I feel like I've watched everything. Like I'm telling you, like
You
everyone
ever seen
assumes that I'm like so
Married at First Sight?
yeah. I've seen some of them. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good show. Me and my
Yeah.
wife were on that show. I used to make fun of her for watching it. Like, oh, what are you watching that filth or whatever? Not filth. I thought it was like a Hallmark married.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love him. But I start watching it. I like the drama. So I start watching
Yeah.
it.
You know what?
The
Like, you know,
fighting.
yeah, people like to criticize people that watch like the reality TV, but I feel like in a way it's also an escape. Like so for a lot of us that like super intense with our jobs, like that reality TV, sometimes it's nice just to like where you don't have to think about it. Like cuz Game of Thrones, you actually have to like pay attention. There's so much going on that in itself it's like a job.
Yeah, yeah. Look like that's my wife. She said, haha, it's
My
good. We're
goodness.
talking about the show. You ever watched have you seen that?
Yes, and my friend, the one that was on your list, his sister worked on the season 3 of You. But yeah, so I
Are
watched
you
season
serious?
3. I watched the season 3, I think, in 1.5 days.
Wow. Yeah, we
Yeah, I'm
watched
a
it.
hardcore binger.
I wonder if that dude is like really as creepy as he is in that
No,
show.
I follow him on Instagram. So
Dude-
all those characters on these shows that I watch, I look them up to see if they're on Instagram.
yeah, don't feel bad. Married at First Sight, I follow some of the characters on there, and I tell my wife all the time, yeah, I don't think they're together no more. I haven't seen them post anything
Yeah.
in a long time. Let's see, The Maid. Have you watched The Maid?
No. Oh, I have not, but I saw that. Oh, wait, no, I did. Marisol, I did. That's what happens. I watch so much stuff that I forget. Yes, I watched it. It was good, right? Like, so with The Maid, I feel like they do a really good job on portraying domestic violence. I really do, because it's super realistic, where it's not like glorified in a way where it's like super subtle. So then it really gives you that kind of question of like, what does domestic violence mean? If it's emotional, you know, abuse, does that mean it's domestic violence? Yeah. So I think it was really well done. My cousin and I watched it together. So yes.
Rob said best Netflix series on there now.
Oh, really? So Rob liked The Maid. Okay. Yeah. No, it was
I
good.
think The Maid. I think
And
he's
then
saying that for
Squid
The
Game,
Maid.
I watched that, but I only watched that because of the hype. Otherwise, I think after the first episode, I would have been like, yeah, no thanks. But
What is it about?
It's really gory. It's just a game show, like with live people, and they're literally just killing people the entire show. Like it's but apparently it's like the #1 Netflix show now. Is my
Netflix and chill is my friend. I love, dude. I feel at home right now because I'm not gonna lie. Some of the shows, like have you ever seen Love After Lockout?
No, what's that?
Don't watch it. You're gonna
Oh,
think so bad of me once you see it. It's the most trashiest show I've ever watched before.
really? So
Yeah, it's
okay.
trashy, like
Okay,
to the
I'm
point.
not feeling trashy shows.
It's it just I guess it depends on which episode you're watching. Some of the stuff I'm just like, oh my God. But it feels good to know that I'm not the only person that could just hang out and watch TV and be cool
Oh,
with
I
it.
legit, Tony, can watch it. I've watched an entire season in one night. I think Queen's Gambit, I watched an entire season in one night. So like that whole series, I watched it in an entire weekend. Like I am a hardcore binger. Like I can stay up till 3, 4 in the morning if I know I don't have to wake up the next morning early. I will stay up that late. Like that's me. I don't
Me too. Wait, let me
yeah.
not say that because all of my motivational speaker friends are probably looking at this like, oh my God, I can't believe he's such a lazy bum.
No, but that, like, and that's the thing,
I
Tony.
love it though. Yeah.
I am very transparent and forthcoming when I tell people, like, I'm not a morning person. Like, I don't get up and go to the gym. Like, I don't have like a routine. Like, I really don't. If anything, I just kind of honor my heart and what I need in that moment. So I'm that type of person too, because I've struggled with mental health issues, clinical depression, I've attempted suicide, all those things. So for me, if I have a Sunday and I just want to stay in bed, like I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
I give myself grace and I don't feel guilty for it. I'm like, for whatever reason, I needed to be in bed the entire day and just sleep and dream because I do dream very vividly. So sometimes I'd rather be asleep and be dreaming. I
Wow.
really would. And so I'll give myself a Sunday, maybe once every couple months, where I'll just be I won't eat. I just will sleep.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds awful, but
No, it
that's
don't.
my way of self-care.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I saw a post where I think it was a video you were saying that you communicate a lot of things. You're very transparent with
Yeah.
your kids. Is that something that you let them know? Hey, I'm having one of those days.
I mean, I don't not like presently I don't really talk because I mean my son's a junior in college and my daughter's a senior in high school. So like I don't share a lot of that.
Oh,
Like
they're
I
gone.
presently feel, but I've shared a lot of like my past. And if anything, I mean, they get it. Like, so for instance, yesterday at the last minute, my son asked me to drive him back to tech, and that's a 4-hour drive. So we were in the car for a good 4 hours. And we'll talk and he'll ask questions and I'll ask questions. Oh, thanks to Mina. And we open up, right? But it's funny because my kids are at an age where they don't really want to hear about my stuff right now. Like it's all about them. So if anything, I try to kind of like not talk about myself because when I do, yeah, they get a little bit annoyed with me. So I just kind of like hold off and unless they ask me. But my son yesterday in the car was like, "How's your new job? How's it going?"
That's what it
Well,
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I try
yeah.
to just kind of yeah.
Yeah, our girls, they're now in the double digits, and I'll be talking about, oh, I just did this really cool thing, and they're just like, I don't want to hear about that.
They
Who
really don't
cares?
care. Like it's crazy. Like it's like we want to tell them because it's like we want them to be proud of us, right? Like it's our way of being like, look at how like cool your parents are. But at the same time, they're like, we like you're our mom and our dad. Like we don't
Yeah,
care. And I have to remind myself out about that. And I had done a post about this a while ago where I talked about how my kids, they're not big on social media, believe it or not.
really.
Like they're the opposite of me. Like they rarely post. They're content consumers, not content creators like I am. And my kids at one point made a comment of like, "Mom, why do you feel like you have to post about us?" Or like, "Why why do you have to justify certain things?" And I'm like, "You know what? You're right." Like they were basically telling me like, "Mom, we know like we love you and our relationship between us is great. Why do you have to justify it to the world?"
Huh, that's
And
interesting.
I thought about that. I was like, no, you're right, because I kind of felt guilty because you see all these posts about like National Daughters Day and National Sons Day, or the first day of school, or someone's birthday, and all these people are posting with their kids. And if I didn't post that, I felt like I was a bad mom, or people were going to think I was a bad mom. And my kids are like, Mom, who gives a shit what other people think?
I love it. We
Like, why
don't
do you
care.
care? Like, why do you feel like you have to post about us? And I'm like, you're
I think
right.
I feel like we get into a routine of that because it's like with social media, especially with you being an entrepreneur, and especially what you're doing right now in your new
Yeah,
job. I'm pretty sure you're telling them, hey, content is king. We got to
yeah,
post all the good things that we're doing.
yeah.
And I feel like as parents, that's the thing that I'm the most proud of. But my 10-year-old, I got to get consent from her before I post a picture of her
Oh,
on
I do
Facebook.
too.
I'm
Oh,
not
believe me, my
bullshitting. I got to
kids.
get consent.
No, I'm the same way. I'll be like, hey, can I take a picture and can I post it? And they're like, hold on. And they're like, you can post that particular picture. And I'm like, okay. Hey, Brandon. Yeah. So I have to get consent from them. That's why I don't post much about them. On LinkedIn, I'll post more just because my daughter's not on LinkedIn. But I will tell you this, my son's
That's so
on
bad.
LinkedIn. But you know what's funny is my daughter the other day goes, hey, Mom, what did you post on LinkedIn with me on it? I go, what do you mean? She goes, because my friend's parents were telling me that they saw me on one of your posts on LinkedIn. So I'm getting outed by my daughter's friend's parents that I'm connected with.
Oh my God. I
And
was
then
going
I
to,
showed her and she's like, okay, it wasn't that bad. So I can't
wow.
even get away with posting on LinkedIn anymore.
I was
I
going to say,
know, it is so hard not to be proud and share our moments, like it is hard. It's that pride, but like our kids don't see that. It's the typical of like, wait till you have your kids.
yeah, no, it's proud. You're proud of your kids. They graduate, they go to school, they start
Yeah.
walking, they miss a tooth. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
It is.
I love what I was thinking about some of the other content that you do on YouTube, Rock
Mhm.
Vision,
Yeah. Or rock
and
boat. Yeah.
yeah, my wife and I were sitting in the office today, and I'm just laughing, and she's like, "What are you looking at?" And I'm like, "Look, check this out. You're having like real conversations
Yeah.
with these kids. What made you do that?"
So I will tell you this, being that like I was on all these podcasts and lives, my mentor was like, you should have your own podcast. He's like, you're kind of like the, what is it? John Rogan? Is it John or Jin Rogan? I don't know. Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan.
There
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
he's like, you're kind of like a Joe Rogan, like female version. You should have your own podcast. And I'm like, yeah, but like, I feel like everybody's having a podcast right now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
once again, like, I want to be different. Like, I don't want to go, along with what everybody else is doing. So I didn't like, I kind of was like, all right, like, I appreciate your input. And then I had the call with the energy healer. And he literally was just like doing all this stuff. It was like an hour and 15-minute call. And I remember he's like, listen, in the next several days, you're going to have a lot of stuff like happening emotionally. Like, just let it like come through you. Just like, let it like, just deal. Like, it's okay. Like, you're going to have different emotions. And I'm not joking. 2 days later, just like, I think it was like a Tuesday morning, and like all just came to me. And it was just like, Raquel, have conversations with kids. No one's having conversations with kids. You love kids. You're a mother of 2 teenagers. It's the pandemic, and you're going to call it Rock the Boat, and it's going to be creating waves through candid conversations with our youth. Like, it
Well,
literally
just like
was
that.
like that. Like, yeah, I was like, Rock the Boat, RAQ. Like, I was someone that was a perfectionist, OCD, like super controlled. So I never rocked the boat. And then I'm like, I'm ready to rock the boat. And then the tagline came with it, the whole creating waves through candid conversations with our youth. Like, it was crazy how it all came to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to practice what I preach. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to try to perfect it. And then I was like, I want it to be as raw as possible. Like, I'm just going to hit the record button. There's going to be no editing. And that's going to be it. Like, I want to showcase how, like, as an adult, you can have a conversation with a kid. And it's going to be my 1-year anniversary, I think in 2 weeks. And I have 59 episodes uploaded.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
With it.
yeah, I saw you had one kid, I can't remember his name. I think it was on like you had him on your show like 5 times and you
Paris.
met him.
Eris. So Eris is 12. He's on the spectrum. He's brilliant. And I've come to understand that I actually relate better with kids on the spectrum. And I will tell you why. Because kids on the spectrum are so smart, but they're still childlike. And that's where I feel like I am. Like, I feel like I'm really smart, but I'm still so childlike that sometimes it doesn't come across that way. So like I can have these great conversations with these kids because there's like no judgment there. They're not judging me. They're being super honest. They're just like telling it like it is. And I feel like that's where like the most like magic happens. So Eris, funny enough, on Saturday, tomorrow, I'm doing an online charity event with the mortgage industry. They're doing podcasts, and I get to do a rock the boat. And I'm going to have Eris and Katie, an 8-year-old, and I'm going to have them live. And it's all going to be for a nonprofit called Some in DC to help the homelessness in the area.
Wow.
So that's going to happen tomorrow. But Eris, because of Rock the Boat, he's had a lot of opportunities, and I've introduced him to people. Now he's in this like think tank in Chicago with this woman who has this whole like mentorship program with teens. So I introduced him to her. So now he's doing that with her. So like, I almost feel like I'm like a kind of like a connector of the teens now too with kids. Like I've given them opportunities on other podcasts, and it's been like the best. Like I absolutely love it.
That is dope. Do you mind if I show the clip from Rock Vision?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can show the Rock Vision clip. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Here we go.
Eliminate trying to gain likes, followers, and the pressure of posting.
Remove the comparison, distraction, and addiction of social media.
Providing a platform for our future creators, innovators, disruptors, change makers, and educators.
To project their voice and protect the reality built for connection over convenience.
Surround yourself with community for personal growth in a supportive, safe space free of judgment.
Connect with yourself and each other without all the extra noise that inundates traditional social networks.
Simply put, we provide social safety, not social media.
This is a metrics-free zone.
Connect with other Rock Vision members around the world.
In Rock Vision, we are all already connected.
Real connection, real community, real conversation.
Anytime, anywhere.
Rock Vision, the 17 and under youth social network, filterless and mindful. Oh my God, so funny.
I love that.
That's Rock Vision, the youth social network.
So those are two separate things, right?
Yeah, but Jason Leibowitz, like with XXO, so he created Rock Vision, and he asked me to basically like create the youth network for them. And it's a bunch of interactive chat rooms for our youth. And it's just, adults facilitating rooms about mindfulness, about confidence, about adversity, art, everything, right? So it's like, it's bringing kids together in a way that promotes connection and community, as opposed to, like the other platforms, Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok, where it's mostly about vanity metrics.
Likes, yeah.
Yeah, but it is hard. It is tough to get kids to understand like how important that is, because just like everything else, you kind of do what everybody else is doing and what's popular. And right now what's popular is TikTok and Instagram and all those, platforms where it's like, instant gratification and having your video go viral and the million views. And it is an uphill battle when it comes to getting the kids to understand that, like, at the end of the day, that's not what's important, And not only that, I mean, we see and we've heard how Instagram in particular has really, been a culprit of a lot of mental health issues, and a lot of these kids having horrible self-esteem issues, these, young girls, just because of the filters and the way you can edit everything. Now they're looking at themselves in a different way, and it's really distorting our view a lot. So it's tough. It really is. I mean, I feel like our kids, they're dealing with a lot of different stuff than we were as kids. Like, we're so quick to criticize them, but like, if we really like put ourselves in their shoes, like, come on, like, we didn't have to deal with all this stuff that they're dealing with now. And I feel like if we had a little bit more compassion and empathy towards them, then it'd be different. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes we're just so quick to just like place blame on social media or place blame on other things. And it's like, you know what? Like, maybe we shouldn't place so much blame and actually like listen to them and you know, and hear what they have to say in their perspective.
Yeah.
And maybe we can help them in that way and change things if we actually like pay attention. So that's what I'm trying to do, just because I see it with my kids and I see it with their friends. Like when you listen and you actually have like conversations with them, it's amazing how that helps them. It really does. Like,
Wow.
I don't know.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think about there's been a few times where I would tell my kids like, y'all don't got it bad or this and that, but I'm finally starting to see that they do have issues.
Yeah,
there are
like
issues that they're going through.
It's undermining like the way they're feeling, or it's undermining like what they're like, what's happening in that moment. And I'm not trying to like place any blame or guilt, but I'm just saying that like it does undermine the way they feel. And if you think about it, like as a kid, if your parent was telling you that, you kind of feel like shit, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So,
And that's why I try to catch myself, because I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, maybe they didn't have the life that I had, but I don't need to shame them because of the shit that they're going through right now, because it is some heavy shit. I couldn't imagine growing up and going through a pandemic.
Yeah. Not only that, having all eyes on you. Like if you think about it, Tony, when I was in college and I was young and doing stupid stuff, I didn't have a camera out at all, you know, everything. Like there was plenty of stuff that I did. And knowing that there's someone that could be filming everything that you're doing at every time, and it can literally destroy your life, like that's a lot of pressure. And so I truly honestly feel, as someone that has suffered through depression, has actually tried to take her life, I truly believe, and I had Marisol's daughters on there, and they were so great. She has a fantastic daughters. They were talking about gratitude, and Marisol does a fantastic job with her girls, and she has her girls like literally sit in front of the mirror and have and like say affirmations like, I am beautiful, wow. I am amazing. And so these girls really have this confidence at their age. So I totally applaud Marisol for that. Like, but that's what we need. So like, if you think about it, as a kid, if you know that if you make a mistake, someone can literally record that or like share it to the entire world, in their mind, they're thinking like my life's over. Like everybody knows that I just made this mistake. Like, how can I go back from that? Like they don't see that like at some point, like you can get over that. Like in their mind, they're thinking like my life's over. And I really feel like
almost like it's finite, right?
Yeah. And I really truly believe that like that's why suicide is on the rise, is because these kids, something bad happens and they're like, there's no going back from here. Yeah. Like, so what's the point? Like, I don't want to live in shame and live with people knowing what I did, or and that ends is that whole like cancel culture and that whole thing of like you make a mistake and suddenly like your entire life is ruined. Yeah. So if you think about it, like that's what we're putting on our kids of like, hey, don't mess up because everyone's gonna know, everyone's gonna find out, and you're F for the rest of your life. Like, hello. I'm sorry, but as a kid having that type of pressure, like,
it's rough.
A lot.
It's rough. I'm glad that you give kids the voice to get through the things that they're going through right now. I know you mentioned that you battled with depression and you had an attempted suicide. That was in college, right? Do you mind speaking on that a little bit?
No, I mean, I was, I was suffering from depression, and I was that person that was like a perfectionist. I had OCD. I thought like my world had to be perfect. I had to be perfect for everyone. I was a people pleaser. And there comes a point where you realize like, oh shit, I'm not living out the life that I thought I was supposed to live, which is like perfect, and that doesn't exist, right? So then you start kind of like that narrative in your head of like, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, and and it just, it's amazing how when it piles on, it literally like you just go down a rabbit hole in your head. And once you're in that dark place and you don't feel like there's the light at the end of the tunnel, it's amazing how you just kind of are like, oh, well, like there's no worth, it's not worth living at this point. And so like, I literally had that, like I was in that place of like, what's the point? And so, yeah, one night I tried to OD on my antidepressants, drank a bottle of wine. I was just like, I'm done. And for me, I was like, yeah, I was in that place of like, all right, I'm better off gone and everybody else is better off without me type thing. And obviously it didn't happen. It didn't work. And so
thank God.
Well, I mean, that's why now I feel like, okay, there's a reason why I'm here. So, people can criticize if they will, like with me on LinkedIn being goofy and being like funny and doing all those things. But I will have to say, and this is something I've kind of realized really recently, is that's like my way of like, that's my therapy. That's my self-care. Like enjoying life and laughing at it and not taking myself seriously and being funny. Like that for me is like my way of being like, hey, I didn't like who I was. I didn't like life. Now I like who I am and I like life. And I'm going to just freaking like share it to the world and I'm going to shout it out. And if all of you want to like sit there and judge me for and say like, oh, you're so unprofessional, or this is not the place for it on LinkedIn.
This ain't Facebook. All that bullshit, right?
Facebook. Like, you know what? Like when it comes down to it, like I need that for myself and I need that like to also share with others. So for me, it's a greater purpose. It's not just some like random thing that I'm doing. Like there's intent by it. Like I really do. When I post things on LinkedIn like that, there's an intention of like, I hope that this inspires you to also embrace that part of you, to just have fun, to laugh, because like when it comes down to it, if you laugh and you have fun, like, don't you feel really good?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what I try to do with my social media is at the end of the day, like if I can make someone laugh or smile, then I feel like I did something good in this world.
Yeah, I love that you embrace that. You call yourself the queen of goofiness. That is so dope. How many messages a day do you get from people that say, what the hell does that mean?
I know. It depends. I have like moments where everyone's like, what the heck? And then I have so many messages that are like, thank you for just being you. Thank you for reminding me not to take life too seriously. Like, thank you for making me laugh, for making me smile. And that's like the best part. Or when I talk about my struggles with mental health and I have, been depressed and now I'm on the other side, like same thing. They'll share their stories and their struggles. And they're like, thank you for showing that there is like another side, that just because you were in that dark place doesn't mean that you're going to be in that dark place forever. Like I think a lot of us forget that you can change.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. You're being an amazing example. I remember when I saw that post when you were talking about the struggles that you had when you were in college, and I was just like, yes, finally other people are talking about this and they aren't afraid. Did you get any backlash from that post at all?
No, it's funny because the first time I actually ever spoke about it was on LinkedIn about 2 years ago. I did a video. And I pretty much kept it hush hush my entire life. Like when people are like, oh, you graduated from UCLA. I'm like, I didn't graduate for medical reasons. So I never lied about graduating. Like I always was very honest of like, hey, didn't get my degree in college, but I just never said why.
Yeah.
Medical reasons. And so 2 years ago, I went ahead, it was Mental Health Awareness Month. And I thought, you know what? I had a colleague in the mortgage industry who said, hey, as leaders, we need to stand up and we need to break, the stigma and the narrative. And I thought, you know what? I need to do something because everybody assumes that I've had this like perfect, happy life.
Yeah.
And I was like, if they hear it from me, as someone that they view, I feel like the perception is that, yeah, I'm always happy and I've always had this great life. I was like, you know what? I'm going to speak up. So I grabbed my phone, I hit record. Like I didn't edit it, nothing. It was as a one taker. And I was like, hey, guess what? And it was like 6-minute video. And oh my gosh, the amount of phone calls, texts, messages that I received that were so positive, I didn't get any backlash. And I thought I was, because I thought, here we go, LinkedIn, this is like a Facebook post. It was the opposite. So that right there made me realize, like, holy crap, people need to like hear my story. People like appreciate my vulnerability, my transparency. So if anything, it just kind of like added fuel to that flame. And that's where I was like, all right, there's no going back now. Like, I just like exposed myself to the world. And I tell people all the time, because, you know, as a personal brand strategist, I was like, if you really share your story and who you are, you'll never know where it'll take you. It'll take you to the most amazing places. And that's what has happened to me. Like, I'm here.
I feel like you're reading my notes.
Oh, really?
You got a spy in here or something?
No!
I was just gonna ask you.
I'm very perceptive, and I'm kind of a little witchy, so that
I was gonna ask you how much of that vulnerability plays into personal branding.
All of it. Like, all of it. Everything has been because I've been willing to just be open and be vulnerable. And as scary as it is, and as much as like I grew up in a household where like you don't share stuff, you keep all that stuff to yourself, I realized, like, you know, when Brene Brown, like, it's true, it's a strength. Like, for so many years and so many generations.
Oh my God. Did you see that comment?
Yeah. No, I now I see it. See, she's on like the same.
Oh my God.
I read her book, and it is true. Like, vulnerability to me, I thought that it was a weakness, and I realized it actually is courage. It really is, to be able to speak your truth and to be able to share those things. And I tell people all the time, like, just imagine if you really shared all of that and you were so true to who you are and your wants and your needs and your interests, like where that would guide you. I mean, even the whole thing with the coffee, like this morning I did a post about how, you know, I talked about how I was drinking coffee, and here I had an old neighbor of mine on LinkedIn who saw it and sent me 8 boxes of coffee with 24 K-cups in them, because, and like, generously, like as a gift, like no charge, because I spoke about it and like talked about manifestation. So I was like, how ironic, I manifested free coffee.
Wow.
But it's because you're willing to like share those things.
Yeah. You didn't believe in manifestation before, right?
I didn't. You know what? I think, Tony, because I am very in tune with all that. Like, I really am. Like, I almost have like a very strong sixth sense. I think I tried.
Yeah, you're like reading the comments and can't even see them.
I know. And I think like I tried to ignore it for so many years, because once again, society, people around you are telling you different things. So I kept that all kind of like, yes, she did. Marisol was extremely generous too and sent me a bunch of stuff.
I love your energy.
As well. No, she did. I know. Everyone's like, you get so much free shit. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. I truly do appreciate it. But yeah, that's the thing, is like, I think I really tried to kind of like not accept that part of me, because it is a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that I do have my moments, and I have friends and family members that say like, you're so witchy, like you really are. And I've been to psychics that say like, you have that ability and that sensibility. And I just was kind of like, yeah, no. And now I'm like, now I'm embracing it. And now that I've embraced it and I'm owning it, it's amazing how like things have changed.
Wow.
And I'm really attracting like the right people and the right situations because of it. Because I'm actually following my gut and my intuition, where before I wasn't.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you know Jennifer Klein?
I don't think I do.
She's on LinkedIn too. She's a TikTok star. She always has like the drill and stuff.
Okay.
I interviewed her not too long ago, and she told me, well, not too long ago, it was probably about 1.5 years. And she's like, oh, there's something special about you. I feel like that you're really keen on intuitions and all of this stuff. Be careful about the things that you say, and make sure that you follow your gut. And I started thinking back, and I'm like, yeah, man, manifestation is something real. I always go back to the time my wife and I, we were watching, you ever seen a movie Mudvayne?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I only watched it once, and I would never watch it again. But there was this guy, he was a former slave, and he ended up like breaking his leg. I mean, it was bad. It was nasty. Like, you saw it, and I'm just like, oh my God. And instantly I'm like, I have no idea what I would do if I was in that situation, because at the time his wife didn't work, and my wife had just stopped working so that she could take care of her father. So I was in kind of the same predicament. And I tell my wife, I have no idea what I would do in that circumstance. And the next day, I'm walking down the stairs and I snap my leg. Just the same configuration. It was the weirdest shit.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm on the floor. All I could think about was that damn fucking movie. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it.
No,
There's been
Yeah. So once you believe it, like, then it's like, you're powerful in a way, and like, so it's a little bit daunting. And I mean, there's moments where, and I'm not joking, this is not like, I'm not exaggerating, where I'll like get ready to leave my house, and I'll be in my car, and I know I need to get gas, but I want to go like get coffee at Starbucks or something, right?
A coffee.
I would sit there and have a freaking like discussion in my head of like, well, where should I go first? Because if I go get gas first, then that'll change the trajectory of my day. If I go get Starbucks first, that'll change the trajectory of my day. So I know that like it's this struggle of like the decision to make. And I will sometimes sit in my car for a good 10 minutes. And I'll be like, and I'll sit there and be like, okay, Raquel, just let whatever tell you where to go first. And it never fails. Wherever I end up first, I always run into someone that I hadn't seen, or like I barely miss someone that I wouldn't want to see. Like, there's something that always happens where I'm like, okay, I have to just listen to the universe, because the universe is always speaking to me. But knowing that, it sometimes is a little bit kind of crazy.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I was going to ask you a question. What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear for the longest time was success. Yeah, like
success.
Like,
wow.
It's crazy because I know I have the potential for it, and I always envision myself being incredibly successful. Like, I envision myself like on a stage with like Oprah or Michelle Obama. Like, I really do. Like, I feel like I know that like that's like my capability, and like
I see it too.
But there's something that scares the shit out of me with that. So I feel like I self-sabotage in a way, but all my visions are like me just kind of like out there with those people, like, doing something big. But it scares me. And I think it scares me because I don't ever want to change who I am. And I feel like a lot of times it's like, I don't want to change. And then you get more people judging you. You get more people criticizing you, wanting to knock you down. And I think all of that really, it scares me. Like, that part of it, like, I don't want that. Like, I don't want the haters. I don't want people like trying to like, find things about me or this and that. Like, I think that's why I try to be as honest as I possibly can. So that like, when it comes to that point,
you say that way, they ain't got nothing on you, right?
I don't know. Yeah. I kind of feel like that way, but how sad is that? Like, we have to think that way, because that's kind of what happens with people when they actually like are moving up, or they're gaining success, or they're getting that kind of like notoriety. It's like people are so quick to want to knock them down or to find something about them. And like, I'm
pretty sure you got trolls now, right?
I don't like, I am
That's
so
amazing.
like, I really don't. Like, I have to tell you, and I think honestly, Tony, it's because I really put myself out there like as honestly as I possibly can, to where like they know that like it's not going to really affect me, because I think I've kind of like already been like, hey.
Yeah, I love that. I had some. I used to, like, in the comment section, I would see people saying stuff, and I would be like, oh, I'll just leave it there, let him stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah.
But our friend Rachel was like, "Why do you do that?" She's like, "You need." She's like straight up called me out. Why do you do that? You need to delete and block them. And I started doing it, and I hardly have any trolls like ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple, but like honestly, Tony, nothing that I've ever had to like, oh God, I gotta be concerned about this, or even DMs, like none of that. Like I'm really less about that. But I really do think that if you put yourself out there in the most genuine way and you're like, this is me, then people can't really say anything.
Yeah, I love
I
that.
really, yeah, like, I mean, that might change after tonight.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Like, yeah, let's like be haters.
No. Everybody in the comments, they love you.
No,
So
it's yeah.
I appreciate you spending some time with me tonight. This has been amazing.
I know it's a Friday night here in Virginia, and like, you know, hey, this woo woo.
You're what part of Virginia are you in?
I'm in Leesburg.
Leesburg.
Yeah,
Where's that at? Is that close to DC?
Like 45 minutes west. So I'm in the suburbs.
Oh, okay. I was just
Yeah,
in
so it's
DC
like,
a couple months ago.
Yeah, so like Dulles, the Dulles airport. I'm kind of near the Dulles airport.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Man, I wish I would.
Dulles.
I wish I would have freaking knew you then. I would have hit you up. Yeah, I was hanging out at I think it's the Air and Space Museum there for a couple hours.
That's super close. That's like 20 minutes from here.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I might have to look you up next time.
Yeah, anybody in Northern Virginia, if you're flying into Dulles, I'm in Leesburg, like hit me up. Like I literally love to like meet my connections. I had a connection of mine who was in town less than 24 hours from Tennessee. I got up at 6:30 in the morning, drove 40 minutes to meet him for coffee. Because he wrote a book, and I had actually bought his book, and I went and took the book, and he signed it, and we like had coffee together. But like, you know, that's how you really like build relationships, you know, because people all the time are like, oh my gosh, like you're connected to so many incredible people, and you really are like the amazing network. I'm like, yeah, because I make the time to get to know them. Like, you know, if you have the opportunity to do it, then do it. Like, make that extra effort, because that's like how it happens. Like, that's how you build those. Like with Michael Ray, same thing. Like, it wasn't like just overnight. You know, you put the effort in, and then knowing that he was in California and I flew out there at the same time, and I drove up to LA, and then he drove down, you know, like you do that. And I do that with connections that are out here too. Like when I know they're in town and they hit me up, I'm like, all right, I'll make the effort to meet you. Like, let's do this.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, when I was down there, I met up with Summer Watson. I met up with my buddy Pedro. I was going to meet up with one of my friends, Angela. I'm like, damn, I didn't know I had so many friends that live out this way, but all people that I met on LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people you meet on there. So when I know that I'm going to a city, like either for work or vacation, and I know that there's people there, and I will let them know, and I will try to make like the best effort to meet them, because like that's truly how it happens. Like that's how you build those, you know, like legit relationships with people.
Yeah. This has been great. Thank you. I appreciate you for doing this. You're amazing. Where can my viewers find you at?
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. You and I just connected on Instagram. And then I've got my YouTube channel, Rock the Boat. I'm not on Facebook. Sorry. Deleted my account earlier. Or Meta, excuse me. It's Meta now.
Why does everybody delete their Facebook? Why is that?
I deleted it early this year. It was the best thing I could have ever done.
Are you serious?
Because I went, you know, now that I'm back at work, I told my boss specifically, like, hey, I know I'm social media branding. I'm like, but I'm not getting back on Facebook. I'm like, our marketing coordinator, he can be in charge of that. I'm not doing it. He's like, that's okay. Yeah. Like I was like hardcore, like, don't make me get on there.
Why is that? I was getting ready to close out, but you keep pulling me back in. I want to hear. I think is it because of the content that's on Facebook?
See, for me personally, like the feed, I didn't like what people were posting on the feed. And then really, I wasn't getting the engagement that I was getting on like LinkedIn or Instagram. Like, I feel like it was just like another platform that I was forced to have to post on. Because, yeah, I would post and it really wasn't doing anything for me. So I was like, you know what? Like, I felt like I was wasting my time and energy going to Facebook and just checking my notifications and reposting on there and not getting anything out of it. I really wasn't like, so I decided to delete it and I haven't noticed any difference. Like it's not
guess what? Guess what, my friend? You just inspired the hell out of Facebook today because you are on Facebook right now.
Sorry, Metas. Yeah, like I just.
No, I know what you're saying. No. I know what you're saying. It's some of the stuff well, you get to see how people really are on Facebook. That's one thing that I learned.
It's not adding value to my world. It was just an extra thing that it was like that I had to do and get on. And yeah, like I'm in the place where I have to really like prioritize where I put my time and energy, and really like I value the time and the people that I surround myself with. Like I'm so much better about it because before, like I was saying, I was a people pleaser. And say no. I thought I needed everyone to like me. And I'm like, no, not everyone needs to like me. I don't need to please everyone. And my time and my energy needs to go to things that actually fulfill me, make me happy, period. That's what happens when you get older.
Yeah, it took me probably about 3 years to figure out how to value my time like that. I was one of those people where I would get messages through LinkedIn and they would say, hey, let's connect. Do you want to let's have a meeting, let's get on the Zoom or something like that. And I would say yes to almost everybody. Yeah. And it took me just saying, damn it, dude, I literally just wasted probably a week out of my life.
Yeah.
A week out of my life responding and talking to different people. And all they're trying to do is just sell me bullshit. So I need to like really value my time. But
yeah, and everybody does that when they first start their business. Believe me, when I first started my business, and right before COVID as an entrepreneur, you feel like you have to talk to everybody because the more people you talk to, the more opportunities. Then you realize like, no, that's not really the case. So yeah, I was wasting plenty of time. I was giving all this free advice. And then I would get off of a call. I'm like, I just totally gave that person like all this amazing advice for free.
for free. And then you probably never hear from them again. Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. Yeah, we're going to close up. Man, I could do this all night. I appreciate you for doing this. And for the viewers, please follow Raquel. Her content is amazing. It is. You got to know that. It's amazing.
It's funny. I'll admit it's funny.
Yeah. No, it's good. No, it's really good. I'm always inspired when I look at Raquel's stuff. Next week, we have on Leaders Lead the Podcast. I got some notes over here. We got my brother, Miguel Pinata from Porcupine Media coming on Thursday. They have the media content that sticks.
Ooh, there you go. Sticky content.
Yep. Then we got on Friday, a week from today, Adam Bratz. He's an author, speaker, veteran, and entrepreneur. Ooh. That's going to be good. Adam talks a lot of shit on LinkedIn. Adam's good.
I like people that talk shit. I'm gonna have to connect with him.
He talk a lot of shit. I like Adam, but yeah. Until next week, I will see you all later. Thank you to my amazing guest, Raquel. You have been amazing.
Thanks.
Bye.